Our goal is to uplift and support those pursuing new career paths, fostering accountability, and instilling hope for a brighter future. And I want to continue to stay true to that particular goal and mission. So, just for everyone's situation, not I see quite a few new people on this session, so I just want to set the stage, peel the onion. Why did we see the need for this meeting? So, about 4 months ago, I ran into a gentleman. He had been looking for a job for 2 years, and he'd been really down in the slumps. And as many of you know, I'm an Army veteran. I have lost some close buddies of mine through suicide. So I take mental awareness pretty seriously. So I decided to help him. But I also thought that if he's feeling that, who else is feeling the same way? So we started Accountability and Hopeful Fridays. It started off with 5 people. As of this afternoon, we were at 153, 56 people. And we've only hit 10 sessions. So it's very quickly growing. Um, and so we want to provide some accountability. So you will see in the following slides, we'll ask people to put in like a SMART goal, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, timely goal. We want you to look at previous Friday's session to see if you accomplished that goal, and then um, after you can thumbs up that particular chat saying, hey, I accomplished it, or you do not need to, and then sign up for another SMART goal that you want to accomplish by next Friday. So that's your accountability part. And from a hope perspective, we have guest speakers every Friday. I'll introduce our guest speaker for today in a few minutes. And they provide some hope. And then we also share something good that is happening. So I'm going to plant the seed with everyone right now. Think about something good that happened that you want to share with the audience, where they can use that so-called intel in their job search. Uh, I'm echoing for some reason. So if you can please mute yourself. Um, and then I wanted to do these sessions on Fridays because if you're not married or if you don't have kids, the weekends can get pretty lonely, and loneliness is a big killer in America. So I wanted to provide that so-called umph going into the weekend, so you don't feel so-called too depressed, or have some hope going into the weekend, and you can start that week on Monday on a positive note. All right. So just some quick stats on AHF. This is our 10th session. We've had 8 guest speakers to include our guest speaker for today. We've had 10 past members. Some past members are opting to be anonymous, so I'm not like so-called posted them on our LinkedIn group page yet. And what does a past member mean? A past member is a good news story, right? We want you to get that job. We want you to go on to bigger and better things, and not be part of the so-called Accountability and Hopeful Fridays group. This number of 146 members is a little skewed. We were at 153 as of this afternoon, 53 or 56. So we broke that 150 member Mark this afternoon. So really good job on that. So we are growing phenomenally, exponentially, really, really fast without any marketing. It's all been word of mouth. So kudos to all of you all to spread the good word and continue to do that. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to our guest speaker. I've known Jeff for a long time. Jeff stays right here in the Charlotte, North Carolina area. He's part of the SIM group. He's also a recruiter. He's a down-to-earth fellow. I know his family is really important to him, and I'm a family man also. So we have some similarities, and a really cool guy, easy to talk to, but most importantly, a helpful person, a human being. You know, sometimes you have those recruiters who are just like going after the so-called numbers. You're just, hey, by the time you're done talking to them, they'll forget about who you are within an hour, right? Not Jeff. Jeff is more of that, gives you that human touch, has that heart behind that brain. So without further ado, Jeff, if you don't mind doing a quick introduction of yourself, and then if you don't mind answering one question, which is, can you share one piece of insider knowledge that many job seekers might not be aware of, but would find incredibly helpful in their job search?
Hey Danny, I sorry to chime in here, but there was another link out there, and there was about 7 people on another link, and I just sent them the correct link to join, so they might be straggling in.
Oh, thank you.
Yep.
I'll go ahead and get started, and I'll hopefully the others can get in quickly. Danny, thank you for the introduction and the opportunity to talk to everybody here today. Um, Congratulations on what you guys are doing here. This is awesome. We need more positive networking and support, and I admire you for putting this together. So great job for doing that, and kudos to everybody for taking the time and joining the group. And you know my message today is going to be all about people. So I've been in Charlotte for 17 years. I've my background's been comprised of operations management and new business development. Most recently, um, staffing and recruiting. So I was in sales for a couple different staffing and recruiting agencies, and that's how I got to cross paths with Danny. Um, I myself am in the job search as well. Um, I'm working a part-time gig right now, something totally different than what I was doing before. But um, what I want, to answer the one question here today and to bring to you is something very simple, but something that I think we can easily forget in today's society. Um, the key to my success and my career and everybody else that I talk to who's been successful is surrounding yourself or getting to know people in person. I think since the COVID era, we all get comfortable behind um, computers and phones and LinkedIn. Um, but I am a part of Aparo. I'm not sure how many of you on today's call are a part of the IT community. I'm not sure how many of you live in Charlotte, but there's an IT community here in Charlotte that it's a nonprofit organization called Aparo. They are a hub for resources to help other nonprofits here in the city with their IT needs, all that be it human bodies, who donate their time, such as Danny. Danny has been involved with Aparo, or financial resources. There are a dozen or so in-person networking events that Aparo hosts each year. And anybody that's interested in gathering more information on events, I'm happy to connect with offline. I think Danny shared my LinkedIn profile. Let's connect. Let's, have coffee. Let's have a lunch. Let's have a phone call. Um, and I'm happy to provide more information. There's also another group here in Charlotte called Charlotte IT Professionals and Lake Norman IT Professionals, another networking group that focuses on in-person networking. So, being in sales for the past, 10 or so years, the key fundamental, basically all of us here on the call that are in the job search, we're all selling ourselves at this point to try to get a new career. And the keys to selling yourself or selling a brand or whatever it may be is you have to get people to know, like, and trust you. And I promise you that connection can become much deeper in person than it can via all those other tools that I listed before. Um, you know, LinkedIn, phone, email, whatever it may be, are an easy way to maybe start a conversation. But if you really want to enrich a relationship, you can only show so much of your personality on a call like this, where if you go to meet somebody for coffee, you meet somebody for, in a networking event or a lunch, whatever it may be, around a golf, um, you really can get to know somebody and have somebody get to know you 1,000 times better than you can express yourself through a call. So I would encourage you, whether you're here in Charlotte, whatever city you may be in, whatever industry you may be in, find some sort of in-person networking group or nonprofit that aligns with your goals and values to get involved with, because, and even if it has nothing to do with your career and your career goals, but it's something you're passionate about, go get out in person, surround yourself, meet people, um, and establish relationships that way. It sounds so elementary, but I promise you, especially here in Charlotte, um, people are not going to help you unless they know, like, and trust you. So that's my advice.
Thanks, Jeff. Um, I don't think Mohammed from DFW is on the call. Believe it or not, fortunately or unfortunately, however you want to look at it, we have a lot of folks on this call from the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Yeah, we do have quite a few folks from Charlotte, but we do have quite a few folks on this call from Dallas. I spoke to a gentleman just before this call, and this was the specific dilemma he posed on how to, that he was just saying, hey, I connect with recruiters, I talk to them, I give them my resume, and they forget about me. And I told him the same exact, not the same exact, I paraphrased what you said. Make that connection, go have coffee with them, go have lunch with them, reconnect with them, follow up with them, because there's a lot that is happening in the recruiters world. They have different recs to fill, they are managing different accounts, so they may not be able to um, remember you per se, for lack of better terms. So you have to do your own due diligence to so-called remind them who you are and build that trust, and make sure that you're not forgotten, and leave that lasting imprint in their brain. I have
Danny, let me
yeah.
just um, input a little information. Being that I've been in the staffing and recruiting industry, um, don't waste your time with recruiters. And when I say if you're whatever field you're in, go to decision makers. Okay, there's very little incentive. Recruiters are paid a salary with very little incentive or bonus, and they don't know a lot about the field. I mean, if you're trying to sell yourself, they're the gatekeeper. If you want to be successful and you're trying to make an impression or get a conversation, find somebody that's in that department, in that company, or find the decision maker, the boss, the hiring manager of that position that you're trying to get, and try to connect with them. Because, I guess I'm answering two questions here. I'm giving more information than you guys were asking me. But coming from this industry, recruiters are good, and a lot of companies have them, but they're so inundated with applicants and candidates with resumes that if you're trying to get hired, and this is the approach that you're taking, go after a decision maker. Don't start with a recruiter. I can't stress that enough, because there's very little incentive for an actual recruiter to do you a favor. Whereas if you know somebody in the organization, or you know somebody that knows somebody in that division that you're trying to get into, have them get to the decision maker, or somebody that can help, who knows a decision maker, that can get your resume seen by the decision maker. And most likely, if the decision maker likes what they see, then they'll trickle it down to the recruiter, and the recruiter will be the first interview. But if you start at the top, to get in that way, you're gonna be more successful. I promise you. That's just from 2 years in the staffing and recruiting world. Danny, when I don't know if you remember this, but our relationship started when I reached out to you to see if I could offer our recruiting services at the firm that I was at the time, to our recruiting services to help you find your staff. I didn't reach out to the recruiter at your company. I reached out to you because you were the decision maker at the time. So again, we're selling ourselves here in this process, and there's no one better that knows exactly what they're looking for than the hiring manager themselves.
Thank you, Jeff. Jeff, if you don't mind staying on the call after the 30-minute session, we'll open it up for Q&A, and the audience will, I'm sure they have a lot more questions.